Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing more of a serious video, nothing about beauty or anything like that. Today I wanted to talk about my experience with postnatal depression. And I'm contemplating doing this video and even asked on my personal Facebook, is it something that I should talk about? And I had, positive feedback from the people who replied. So, yeah, I'm going to talk about my experience with it and hopefully it'll help somebody or just let somebody else know, even if it's just one person, know that you're not the only person that's going through it, even though you feel that at the time. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about stats or anything like that. I'm just going to talk about my situation and how it was. So Jack's nearly a year old now, which is crazy. Like next month he's going to be a year old. So it's just gone so quickly. Okay, so I have two kids and there's a huge age difference. My daughter is 9 and my son is 10 months at the moment. So when I had my daughter, I didn't have postnatal depression the way I had it with my son. So was not prepared for it. There wasn't anything really unusual about my situation this time round having my son. I tried to have a natural birth, just a little recap here of how it went down. Tried to have a natural birth, 9 hours in, realised that due to scarring on my cervix from cancer that I had, my cervix can no longer open and I had to have a C-section. That all went fine, there was no complications or anything like that. So I was in hospital for 5 days, which is just a normal amount of time for most people who have C-sections. I'm pretty lucky. I had C-sections with both of my kids and I recovered really, really quickly. So my muscles went straight back together within 2 days, which is awesome. So, yeah, normal pregnancy, normal birth, all of that sort of stuff. So about 3 days after he was born, I was still in hospital, and I got baby blues. So, which is, crying for no reason and things like that. A lot of women will get baby blues and it'll go within a few days. Mine unfortunately didn't. My postnatal depression lasted for 2 weeks, and they always say that if it lasts more than, I guess, 2 weeks or so, then you should see a doctor because then you need help. So if I keep looking down here, I've just wrote a couple of little notes now. I had a lot of support during my time dealing with postnatal depression. I had my partner, I had my family, I had my mum, my dad, my sister, my daughter. So I had a lot of support. If you have had a baby and you are suffering from postnatal depression and you don't have a lot of support, the first thing I would say to you is go to your doctor. Definitely go to your doctor. That can be your support, and tell them what is happening. They might not necessarily say that they're going to put you on medication and stuff like that. If that's not something that you want to do and you just need support, explain that to them. Just say to them you need help or support. Definitely, that's one thing that I want to say. If you don't have that, even if you do have that and you need the outside support, still go see your doctor and discuss it with them. They're not always going to just put you on some pills and, say see you later, have, good luck. Doesn't always go down like that. And if your doctor is doing things like that, maybe you need to switch, because a doctor shouldn't just shove pills down your throat just to, see you along. That's not going to help you in the long run. So 3 days into my after my son was born, I started getting the baby blues, crying. In hospital it wasn't so bad. The times that it was really bad, which just made me think it was baby blues, was at night time when I couldn't have visitors. My partner had to leave, my parents had to leave, and I was on my own. That was upsetting to me at the time. So and it wasn't because I didn't know what I was doing. I knew what I was doing. I had the experience with my first child, so that wasn't it. I come home from the hospital, and luckily we were staying at my parents' place at the time, so I had my mum and that there, luckily, because Paul wasn't a huge help when he was first born. But that's all I'm going to say about that. And it was sort of like, it's really hard to explain, but it was just like full on, straight away, like bam, right in your face. And that's what it was like for me. And I've wrote down a few things here on what it was like and how it felt to me at the time. And when I think about it now and I get that feeling that I had, it's really uncomfortable. It was devastating to my life, literally devastating. I was crying most of the time. I couldn't, these are things that I felt. It wasn't necessarily the reality of things, but it's how I felt. I felt that I couldn't function. I felt that the world would be a better place if I wasn't here. My children would probably be better off without me. Somebody else could probably take care of them better than what I could. I felt useless. I felt stupid. I felt worthless. What else? I second guessed everything that I did, to the simplest things of what clothes I should put on my son. And most of this was towards my baby. Not so much my daughter, my older child, but my baby. It was summertime because it was February and it's really, really hot in that time. So we had air conditioning and things. It wasn't uncomfortable in any sort of way, but I had a hard time with figuring out how I should dress him, what I should dress him in, should I have the air conditioner on. They seem stupid things now that I would second guess myself with, and it was devastating. Like I said, it was just, I couldn't speak to my partner about it. There was some conflict going on because of how I was. He couldn't understand what was happening, and he just wanted things to be normal. But I'm not going to get too much into that. So some other stuff that I've written down here was how my mind would play tricks on me. And that was pretty much a lot with what I've just said. So my mind would be telling me, you are so stupid. You cannot handle these situations. You know, you are ridiculous and you're a joke. That's what it was like. Now, I've never suffered from depression in that sense before. I suffer from anxiety, but that's nothing compared to the way this was. And I literally, if I didn't get help, it's sad to say, but I don't think I would be here. And that's how devastating it could have been. So definitely, if you know you're feeling that way, and another thing with the mind's playing tricks on you is, I kept thinking to myself, do I have postnatal depression? I don't think I do, because I don't meet these standards of what's listed on the form. I have this, but I don't have that. I feel this, but not all the time. And so my mind would be like, nah, maybe you don't have it. Maybe it's just you. It's just you. You've changed. Things change when you have babies. Everyone knows that. But your mind makes you think that you have changed as a person, not as becoming a mother, but as who you are as an individual. I felt that I was a different person. I didn't even know who I was anymore. That's what it was like. But it's all part of it. It wasn't real, but I couldn't see that at the time. So I don't know if this is even going to be making any sense to anybody, but somebody who is watching this video, and if they're going through it, I can imagine they will definitely relate to this, and how I'm saying it, because that's how it is. Very, very confusing, and that's exactly what it's like when you're going through it. It's confusing and scary, and it's a tough one to deal with, because I guess everybody is going to be different, but this is what it was like for me. So another thing that I've wrote down here is I felt that I was never going to be normal again. I thought I was never going to be the person that I was before I fell pregnant, the person I was before I had my son. One thing I do want to say is I never felt any resentment towards my son in that way. Some people do experience that. I didn't. I bonded with him very, very quickly, and I was very, very protective of him. And the funny thing is, even though I felt useless and stupid and that I couldn't be doing normal everyday functions, I was doing them. I was the one handling my son. I was the one feeding him, changing him, bathing him, dressing him, getting up with him during the night, comforting him, burping him, all the tiny little things, making his bottles, cleaning them, sterilizing them, all those things that seem very, very simple seemed very, very difficult, but I was actually doing them. And I think I have to thank my mum for that, because my mum was there and she was supporting me, but at the same time she was not making me do it, but expecting me to just do these things, and I did them because that's what I should have been doing. And very, very thankful that she didn't take over in a sense of doing all of those things for me. She did help me a lot with buying things if I couldn't go out and stuff like that, but I was still doing everything for him. I was the one doing it with him and for him and playing with him and bonding and all of that stuff, and that was all good. But in the times that I felt this way was usually when he was sleeping, when I had a minute to myself and I could breathe, and then I would just be like, oh my god, what is happening right now? That's what it was like. Sometimes I couldn't help it, and even when he was awake I would just break down. Usually I would know when it was going to be coming, because I would just get that feeling. I would feel sick to my stomach in a way of not like I was ill, but just that feeling, when you're really, really upset and you just get that gut-wrenching feeling. That's what it was like. So that lasted for about 2 weeks, and then I went to my doctor, and my doctor put me back onto my medication that I was on before I had him. So like I mentioned earlier on, I suffer from anxiety, and I also suffer from a panic disorder. So not depression or anything like that. The anxiety and the panic attacks that I would have was a whole nother story. Something that I suffered from before, something that I've suffered from when I was a child. So that wasn't really an issue, but the medication that she had put me on was for that, and that actually helped with my postnatal depression. And then it sort of just switched off. It's sort of not overnight, but I did felt a difference, and I felt sort of like things were clearing up, like I was coming out of water or something. That's what it was like. That's not the answer for everybody, but that's something that I need to be on anyway because of my anxiety. And if you're not sure what anxiety is, maybe I'll do a video on my anxiety, what caused my anxiety, how I live with it and how I deal with it. If you want to see one of those videos, then let me know and I will definitely do one of those. It's not something that I hide, and I know a lot of people don't necessarily believe in anxiety, or they think it's just a load of shit, but unfortunately when you do suffer from it, it becomes real very, very quickly. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. So at the same time, I think that's why I took a break from doing videos too, because it took me a while to get back into the groove of things. Obviously with a new baby, they can be demanding. I'm not too bad with him. Now that he's getting older, he's a bit more demanding, but yeah, definitely it did definitely affect me. It's something that I've learnt from, and I can look back at and say, hopefully if I'm ever in that situation again, which I don't think I ever will be, but hopefully I can remember and look back and go, this is not real, because because reality is the postnatal depression and how you're feeling isn't real. It's your mind playing tricks on you, and that's how I can explain it. That's what it was like for me in my situation. So, like I said, there are websites you can go to beyond blue if you need support. Definitely, like I said, go to your doctor if you want to go down that way. Even if you do have support, and if it's lasting more than 2 weeks, I think it is, then definitely see a doctor just to even have a chat, because there are other ways to get beyond the postnatal depression. Don't exclude your family and friends, and I know that's a hard thing, because I was really, really embarrassed to talk about it in front of my family and that. And then I got to a point and I thought to myself, if I don't just let go, then it's going to become even worse. And I sensed that in myself, and I thought, no, I have to let go. So that's the one thing that I would definitely suggest is such a simple thing to say, but let it go. Because don't be too proud, don't be too don't think that you're letting your guard down and people are going to think you're weak or you are stupid, because that's what I thought they would be like, to themselves. That's how I thought it would be, like, Melissa, we have to deal with you now. Like, it's not going to be like that. Well, hopefully it won't be like that. In my family situation, it wasn't. So definitely talk to them about it, and yeah, don't feel that you have to hide yourself or how you're feeling, because if you do that, I guarantee it'll make things 10 times worse. I would always try to hide and wait until I had a good 20 minutes to myself where I know no one was going to bother me, and then I would try and hide myself in the bathroom, or I need to go for a shower or something like that and have a good cry. Obviously do that still, because you shouldn't be holding it in, is another thing that I try to do as well. I tried to hold it in so hard, and I was just like, if I just hold it in, then it'll go away, or no one will have to see me that way, and then I can hide it from them, and definitely don't do that. And I literally, and my family will tell you, I was just crying constantly. Every single day. It was every day for 2 weeks, and it would sometimes last for a few hours. I would sob, and I would be sore and achy from crying. But you're better off letting it out. Don't keep it up. Don't bottle it up. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. That's my experience with postnatal depression. Like I said, there's websites you can go to, talk to your family, talk to your doctor, talk to friends, talk to anybody that will listen if you need to. Talk to yourself as well, as long as you're saying the right things. If you are saying some of the things that I was saying to myself, like, I'm stupid, I'm worthless, I would be better off dead, that's not good. That's not a good sign. And if you are saying that and you're wondering to yourself, do I have postnatal depression, or do I have depression? If you're saying those things to yourself at any time, any stage, yes, you need to talk to somebody, because the world does need you. The world does need you in it. That's how it is. And I definitely know nobody can look after my kids the way I look after my kids, and that's the attitude that I've always had, and that's how it should be, and I know that now, so I'm definitely past that stage. So yeah, and I'm protective. I'm gonna be protective like that. So yeah, hopefully this video has helped. If it has helped one person, I will be happy. It's something that I have wanted to talk about. It's something that has affected me hugely last year, and something that I was scared to talk about, but I thought I would put it out there. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you have experiences that you want to talk about, then definitely go ahead, talk about them. I would love to hear about them as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.